Have you ever wondered what happened to Jesus during the years when he simply vanished from history? Between the ages of 12 and 30, Jesus disappeared from the pages of the Bible and from popular knowledge, a mystery that has sparked curiosity and questions for centuries. But what if I told you that these lost years might hold the keys to spiritual awakening and self-discovery? In this video, we'll explore the journey Jesus may have taken to distant lands, where he could have learned profound spiritual teachings that would shape his mission and revolutionize the world. With each discovery, you'll gain a deeper understanding of how these experiences transformed Jesus into the spiritual guide who changed history. Get ready for a journey across the East and beyond, where he may have learned ancient secrets about consciousness, compassion, and inner power. This video could offer you profound and practical insights for your own journey of self-discovery. Are you ready to explore this untold story and uncover lessons that could transform your life? The disappearance of Jesus between the ages of 12 and 30 is one of spirituality's and history's great mysteries, a gap that scholars and seekers have tried to fill for centuries. The last mention of Jesus in the Gospels shows a 12-year-old in the temple, astounding scholars with his wisdom. After that, he disappears from traditional narratives for 18 years. This absence raises an intriguing question. Where was he, and what did he learn? Many believe these years were spent in intensive self-development and spiritual exploration, leading him to delve into wisdom and self-knowledge traditions in distant lands. Imagine a young man with an inner calling so strong that he was willing to cross borders and cultures to discover the depths of consciousness and spirituality. During this period, some theories suggest that Jesus did not stay in one place, but journeyed far from his homeland, embarking on a path that took him to countries like India, Tibet, Egypt, and Persia. Each of these regions, known for its profound spiritual tradition, would have offered him unique knowledge about the nature of the universe and humanity's role within it. Think of a young seeker, like someone today who might leave everything behind to seek the meaning of life in different cultures and traditions. In this way, Jesus may have absorbed teachings from wise masters and spiritual guides that would shape his future mission to enlighten humanity. These lost years would not be a mere void then, but a period of preparation and transformation that deeply shaped who he would become. The qualities that defined his later ministry, compassion, wisdom, and a universal vision of spirituality, could have roots in these early encounters and learnings. Many of these teachings resonate with the core of the spiritual quest, such as self-knowledge and connection with the energy of the universe, which are fundamental in any path to spiritual awakening. And it's here that we begin to approach the true essence of what these lost years could represent. These silent years in Jesus' life were not just a purposeless pause, but rather a crucial phase of his spiritual development and self-discovery. During this time, many believe he devoted himself to learning from the greatest spiritual teachers of his era. Imagine Jesus in foreign lands, absorbing profound teachings about the cosmos, the human soul, and the spiritual journey, expanding his consciousness and preparing for his mission. It was as if he were collecting pieces of a universal puzzle, which he would later unite into a unique and illuminated vision that would influence all of humanity. As he traveled to places like India and Tibet, he might have learned lessons about compassion, inner peace, and meditation, essential skills for anyone pursuing genuine spiritual awakening. Imagine someone developing such a serene presence that simply being near them would spread calmness. The principles of love and understanding, in his words later, may have roots in these encounters, in these guides who helped him explore the depths of the mind and spirit. It's as if, during these years, he was planting seeds of wisdom that would later grow into trees of love and inspiration. These teachings, drawn from different traditions, helped Jesus see spirituality not as a closed concept, but as a journey of self-discovery and expanded consciousness. He learned to live in unity with the universe, understanding that each of us is part of something much greater. This holistic and universal view of self-development still resonates today with those who seek spiritual awakening. And as we reflect on these years of preparation, we feel that we are drawing closer to unraveling the essence of the secrets he carried with him. One of the most intriguing theories suggests that Jesus traveled to India, where he would have been exposed to profound spiritual teachings, including Hinduism and Buddhism. Imagine a young Jesus walking through the temples and sacred cities of India, immersed in an atmosphere steeped in meditation, self-knowledge, and the quest for enlightenment. Contact with Indian traditions would have allowed him to learn about the importance of detaching from the world's illusions, finding inner peace, and cultivating compassion for all beings. This journey through India would be like a sacred school where he absorbed lessons that would deeply resonate with his future mission. It is said that Jesus may have passed through cities like Varanasi, a millennia-old spiritual center where masters and disciples gathered to share teachings. There, he would have learned about the nature of the soul, reincarnation, and the unity between human and divine. These teachings on self-knowledge and spirituality would shape his vision of universal and unconditional love, which later became the core of his ministry. By experiencing and living these principles, Jesus was not just learning theories, he was practicing a new way of relating to the world, something that would later inspire his own disciples and followers. Furthermore, some accounts suggest that he may have studied alongside Buddhist monks and sages, learning meditative practices and the importance of detachment, concepts he might have integrated into his spiritual vision. Imagine Jesus sitting in meditation alongside monks, absorbing wisdom that would help him reach a deep level of peace and inner clarity. India was not just a place of learning for him. It was a phase of transformation, a true milestone in his spiritual journey. And as we reflect on this passage, we begin to see the next part of his journey with more clarity. A fascinating part of Jesus' journey points to Tibet, where he may have met spiritual masters known as lamas and tantric Buddhist practitioners. Imagine Jesus immersed in teachings that revealed the connection between body, mind, and spirit, learning about the control of inner energies and the importance of compassion. In Tibet, he might have been taught to transcend the ego and reach an understanding of unity with the universe, a perspective that would resonate with the messages of peace and love that would later mark his mission. This phase in Tibet could have been one of the most intense, filled with practices that helped him strengthen his journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. In contact with Buddhist philosophy, Jesus might have learned about the concept of non-duality, the idea that there is no real separation between oneself and the surrounding world. This perspective would help shape his message of unity and love for all humanity. He may have delved into meditative practices that expanded his consciousness and allowed him to experience the world in a broader, more compassionate way. Imagine Jesus sitting with Tibetan monks, breathing deeply and exploring the depths of his own being, learning that true spiritual power lies in transcending the boundaries of the ego and connecting with the universal essence. These teachings would have profoundly influenced the message he brought back to the West, that love and compassion are not just feelings, but states of consciousness. Jesus, upon returning, would carry with him the lessons of inner peace and self-mastery acquired in Tibet. And as we move forward to explore the next steps of his journey, we begin to understand how each place and each teacher left a lasting mark on his spiritual evolution. An essential part of Jesus' spiritual journey was his time in Egypt, a land rich in mystical knowledge and ancient traditions. In Egypt, he would have come into contact with the mystery schools, where priests preserved and taught secret practices of self-development, consciousness elevation, and spiritual alchemy. Imagine Jesus absorbing the teachings of Thoth and Hermes Trismegistus, learning about the secrets of the universe and the laws governing both the physical and spiritual worlds. These ancient teachings, linking humanity to the cosmos, would have broadened his understanding of the nature of life, death, and eternity, becoming a fundamental part of his future mission. In Alexandria, a city that brought together thinkers, philosophers, and mystics from all parts of the world, Jesus would have been exposed to the wisdom of Hermetic texts and the concept that everything in the universe is connected. The experience in Egypt was not just theoretical. He likely underwent initiation rituals that helped him experience elevated states of consciousness. Imagine how this phase must have shaped his vision, that the kingdom of God is not a distant place, but an accessible reality within each person. It was a journey of inner transformation, something he would carry forward to inspire the world. Moreover, some believe he might even have participated in ceremonies within the pyramids, where symbolic experiences of death and rebirth strengthened the spirit and prepared the initiate for life's mission. This initiatory process Jesus may have undergone in Egypt could have been one of the most intense stages of his self-discovery, leaving a lasting mark on his spiritual journey and providing the foundation for the practices he would later teach. And as we look at the next chapter of this extraordinary path, we see how each experience strengthened his connection with the divine. In the final part of his journey, it is believed that Jesus traveled through ancient Persia, where he would have encountered Zoroastrian Magi. This ancient religion focused on the battle between the forces of light and darkness, which might have offered Jesus a new perspective on the balance of good and evil in the world. Imagine Jesus learning from these magi about the importance of each person's choices and how these choices shape their spiritual destiny. The idea that every action and intention can tip the scales toward light or darkness would later resonate in his own messages about the kingdom of heaven and confronting forces opposed to love and compassion. In Persia, Zoroastrian teachings also emphasized the divine nature of light, something that likely influenced Jesus' view of human essence and his mission to enlighten those around him. Alongside Persian priests, he would have encountered the idea of a spiritual conflict that occurs not only on the physical plane, but within each soul. The emphasis on choosing the light, on opting for attitudes and thoughts that elevate consciousness, may have planted in him the seeds of a universal vision of self-knowledge and self-development. For Jesus, light would become more than a metaphor. It would be an internal guide, a force capable of transforming humanity. These encounters and teachings acquired in Persia reinforced the message of unity and spirituality Jesus would later spread. He returned to the West with an understanding that love and wisdom are not just virtues, but an active, ongoing choice that everyone must make. And as we reflect on Jesus' return and the impact these lost years had on his mission, we better understand how this phase of learning laid the foundation for his future message of peace, love, and enlightenment. When Jesus returned to the West, he did not return as the same young man who had left. He carried with him deep knowledge acquired in distant lands, teachings that few could fully comprehend. Many believe he brought back secret teachings, revealed only to a select few disciples deemed ready to understand the depths of consciousness and spirituality. Imagine these teachings as keys to the inner door, allowing the individual to access spiritual truth on their own, without the need for rituals or institutions. These teachings had a liberating character, guiding each person towards self-knowledge and spiritual awakening. Among these practices, some sources suggest that Jesus taught techniques of meditation and breath control, methods that helped elevate consciousness and experience deep states of union with the divine. Think of the transformative impact this would have on his disciples, ordinary people who now possess tools to expand their consciousness and connect with the universal energy. These secret teachings went beyond what was common at the time and were probably passed on discreetly, only to those he knew could use them wisely. It was knowledge meant to expand the boundaries of self-development and awaken the divine potential within each human being. Upon his return, Jesus brought a message of love, compassion, and unity, values he not only preached but also embodied in his daily life. The idea that the kingdom of God is within us deeply resonated with these hidden teachings he had gained on his journey. And so, every word and action of Jesus reflected a life dedicated to the purpose of awakening human consciousness and inspiring everyone to seek their true essence. This return marked the beginning of his mission, and he knew that every step taken from that moment on would be an invitation for humanity to find its own inner light. So, what will you do with this knowledge now? Jesus went on a transformative journey to awaken spiritually and discovered truths he shared only with those ready to understand. And you, are you ready to apply these teachings in your own life? Think of those times when you seek inner peace or a deeper sense of purpose in your journey. Now is the time to start exploring your own consciousness, developing your self-knowledge, and finding the light within you. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep learning and growing with us on this spiritual journey. Let's discover together the power of spirituality and connection with the universe. This is just the beginning.